The first time I heard the word karma, I thought it was cool, right? I was learning all these Sanskrit terms like Buddha and dharma and karma and samsara, and I was learning to understand them, and I was putting them in that context bit by bit. And I just thought it was cool. And I noticed in the way that it's used, because the word appears in most English dictionaries, it's been absorbed, which means it's been there for quite a while, which also means that there are a lot of different interpretations of what it means. So there's the power of destiny, getting your just deserts, divine retribution. It's your karma, you know. You've gone blind because something you did in your last life or in 100 lives ago. So there's people who think like that about it. And I'd like to clarify that, because that's really not what it is. And I thought it was at the beginning, but then I studied it. I became a Buddhist monk. I studied with the Dalai Lama and the Tibetans, and I got a pretty good understanding. And it's quite simple in one way. It simply means action, cause and effect. But in another way, it's complex in the sense that all the different causes that impinge on us, okay? So if I see a candy bar on the counter and it's not mine, but I'm really craving a piece of candy, then, well, the candy is part of that equation. My eye contact is part of that equation. My craving for candy is part of the equation. So what actually makes me, what is the cause that makes me reach out and pick it up and then put it in my mouth? Something else, craving is involved. A sense that this is my candy, or I can make it my candy by taking it quickly before anyone else can see. There are attitudes involved. So the way in which karma plays out is very complicated. But what karma is very simple. It's cause and effect. You do something, then this will happen. Now, when it comes to moral law, I mean, the way in which we behave, we're talking about behavior here. The way I behave will result in certain experience. I'll experience my life in different ways. So if I'm a liar, I'll notice that people don't believe me anymore, right? If I'm violent, then I'll notice that people avoid me. They cross the street when I come. So these are broad ways of understanding it. But what the Buddha was talking about was that, but also something much, much, much more subtle, which is the way I perceive my life, the way I perceive the people in my life. That's affected by my past. So that's quite consistent with psychoanalysis, with, psychology in general. There are consequences, there are connections. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So